This is the salad bought to from Subway.
Oh, good. I can eat that. I was wondering what I was gonna eat.
We got guacamole in it too.
What is that white stuff?
Okay, so I'm just gonna mute y'all if whoever's not talking. Um, so we are now live on YouTube, and this is a wonderful session for our matriarchs, our noblesses, our sisters, the stars in the tribe, to be able to help ourselves heal. So we just having a conversation with the tribe as we do every Sunday. And we were just talking about some things that can help women heal. Vicky, Noblesse, Vicky.
Yes,
Go
Your Honor.
ahead. Go ahead and finish your statement. This is the power we have to draw butterflies, bees, and
Hummingbirds.
birds in general. It's a wonderful thing when you become cognizant of these things. And when, like for myself, hawks, I really noticed hawks when I was in a time of distress. And these people was following me for the first time. I really noticed it. It was real intense. They was following me all over the country because I had left Charlotte and went on a road trip basically with who I considered a good friend at the time. And these people was following us everywhere we went, and everywhere we went, the hawks would follow me and circle around up over my head. And at the time I started to notice it. So I'm like thinking to myself, what is going on? This was some years back. So then I started doing the research on what was happening. And so it just let me know that those hawks came whenever I was in distress, or whenever someone was around that was detrimental or there to bring me harm. It was like alerting me. And for each person, it would be a hawk. So it was anywhere from one hawk to like 5 or 6 hawks at a time, circling overhead. So whenever I saw that, I then began to watch nature, and I began to watch how birds, come around, and when they come around, the cardinal, the robin, and especially that hawk, because they are like, the hawk eye. The old saying is the hawk eye. But anyway, what were you saying about the bees?
Well, I was out driving, and I realized, and it was evening, sun had already set, and there was a bee in the car. And I'm like, why is this bee in the car? We tried to move it, we tried to get it to get on paper, it wouldn't leave. It ended up sitting on that little mount between your steering wheel, where your steering wheel is mounted to. It stayed there the whole time. I went in the house, went to bed. I came back, opened the car. The bee was on the napkin on the floor in the morning. I said, well, I'll be doggone. This bee want me to know that it's with me, even though it's dying, right? So bees come to me for 2 reasons. Either I'm going through a transformation or initiation, right? Earlier last week, it was hummingbirds. And the previous week, it was butterflies. So I said, butterflies, hummingbirds, bees. Oh, okay. I'm going through I'm about to be, I'm being pollinated. But also, it's just a lot. I'm trying to release, a lover from my womb space and his
Okay.
energy.
The cut the cord prayers is going
The
to
cut the cord prayer.
is
I'm
going to
doing the
cut
yoni
all. Yeah.
cutting all soul ties. Now,
Mm-hmm.
I've researched enough about him in the astral realm doing pendulum work, and I have a contract with him.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm
All
gonna resolve.
relationships that you have been in, there's a
Yes,
contract. There is a soul tie that you need to break if you no longer want to be in that relationship or it was not to your highest and best good. You need
yes,
to cut the cord. Mm-hmm.
that's exactly what
Soul
the
tie.
process is. Cutting the soul tie. So I'm gonna cook food for me and the family. Then I'm going to burn the ritual protection fire, and then I'm going to do the cord cutting prayer over a cleansing purification yoni thing. And then when
Awesome.
I'm done with that, then I'm going to bed with obsidian yoni egg that I will birth
Okay.
in the morning to
You can
release.
burst it.
Yeah, you birth it.
Obsidian.
When you use your yoni egg, well, I'm using a black obsidian yoni egg. So I'm gonna put it in at night after the yoni steam, and then when I get up in the morning, I will birth that egg.
How did you that isn't that a stone?
Okay, okay. So yoni eggs are, yeah. I'm gonna push it out in the morning. I don't want to.
You say you're gonna burst it. Like you're gonna break it?
No, release it. I'm gonna release it in the
Okay.
morning.
Oh, okay.
We call it birthing it. It's like the same
Oh, birth.
to push to give birth to your child are the
Okay.
same muscles you use to birth your young egg.
Oh, okay.
It's a ritual in itself. It's a part of my
Mm-hmm.
womb healing of ritual.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's my plan, and utilize the last of the full moon energy. And we got a lot of high winds, so I know Goddess Arisha Oya is present.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It's
And she's
definitely been windy
transformation
over
and
here.
change, and that's what
Oh
I'm.
yeah. Mm-hmm. Definitely. Goddess Isis.
Yes. Move, a move,
Um,
move. So yes, I'm activating Sekhmet, Isis, and Oshun and Oya.
mm-hmm.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. That is definitely a powerful combination.
Right, because this work that I'm doing is to um assist me in my growth and my ascension, uh, recalibrating my chakras, and I have some more spiritual gifts that have opened up, and I need help with them, and I only can talk to my sisters that are on this path and that are shamanic and the heads of families and the leaders of their business, and
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
trailblazers.
Iron sharpens iron,
First
no
ones
doubt.
out the gate, We're the first ones to the line, and we're the first one out the gate.
Always.
Mm-hmm.
That is the Aries in me. Now they flying planes.
Scorpio for me.
When I tell you, the ancestors are so real.
They're not playing.
Anytime I can really rely on them for any and everything, I know I have arrived, or I am in my constant ascension. If I haven't arrived yet, I'm definitely making good progress.
Breakthroughs, breakthrough after breakthrough after breakthrough. And with these breakthroughs, you also breaking chains on your mental health. You're breaking chains on your psychology, your your body memory. Like I'm also releasing trauma. You know, toxic communication between the masculine and the feminine, divine masculine, divine feminine, um, harmony and balance. First within myself, and then in my relationships with my brothers, my sons, and the men in my life, and the men that I have chose to lay down with. So it's important to keep your wound space clear. And you don't, when you're not aware that your partner is toxic as far as energetically, your wound will let you know.
Yeah.
And now, if you don't listen, that's when you get the other things that happen, you know. So the purpose of this is to tap into the heart of.
You going in and out?
I said the purpose for me is to tap into the ear and the heart of my womb, and to listen to my womb space. You know, that is, it's not something that's outside of me. Like I've always been taught and raised to believe that you're not supposed to touch it, you're not supposed to do nothing but clean it, and you know, it's not yours. It belongs to your, you know, your spouse.
It's not yours.
Yeah, I was told it's not mine once I got married. You know, when I became a wife, I was like, it's not mine anymore. It was like, oh, it was never yours. It belongs to your partner. And I'm like, wait a minute, it's on my body. Wait a
Who
minute,
said that?
Like I said, twisted thinking and distorted ideology and pathologies. And I have to release that too, you know.
Yeah.
That I am an autonomous, sovereign, divine feminine being with a womb and a heart and a soul. And I want to be treated as such.
Okay.
Period.
That's awesome. It's wonderful seeing you come out and blossom and you know, get closer to your ascension as well. It's definitely really powerful. We are power beings, you know, because we've been through a lot, you've been through a lot, I've been through a lot. Continuing to strive for perfection as we look to cover our children and make sure everybody's all right, make sure everybody's around us is all right, make sure that, you know, we're always doing the best we can to uplift. And that's what the mother does. It's like
caring for our community too. Like I've still had to go and babysit for my neighbor down the street, and you know, I'm still very active. Do not tear up my table.
Mama said.
Okay, see, constantly mothering, constantly enforcing boundaries, constantly um, maintaining and sustaining daily life skills. This young man is really. Hold on, y'all.
Yeah, so it is a wonderful day. We are getting ready to ascend to our higher plane as a whole. This is our new year. This is a new year for us. It's a new beginning in a lot of ways. As you have heard me say, completing the karmic circle, that is the time we're in. So a lot of us who feel like we are not going to see a change in this lifetime, that's not true. Just like a lot of us thought that we would have to fight to regain power or to take over, or, take our powers back. Look what's happening. We're not. Things are going to revert back to a time when we were in rulership. Now it's going back into that time when we were in rulership. Everything that we have been experiencing for the last 120 years has been a falsehood, an illusion by those who conquered the ruling powers on the land. And when I tell you these people are excellent manipulators, illusionists, artists of deception, they will make you think you crazy. This how well and fine-tuned they have their game down. So if you are not seated in who you are and what you are, they will make you forget who you are, continue to be in this slave mentality. This is why it's important to be set in your ways and stubborn. They used to call me stubborn a lot when I was young, but you got to be stubborn to do this, what I'm doing right now. You got to be stubborn. Even right now, I know my daughter thinks I'm stubborn. Some people around me think I'm stubborn because once I know something, you can't tell me otherwise. And these people, prime example with my son, these people can manipulate others, but they can't manipulate me. And we have been under a system ran by those in power who took the land from my ancestors. So they always were in the business of creating illusions, creating falsehoods in the media. These Jesuits ran the media. And I said ran because they are no longer. They have fallen. You have a finely tuned network of power and control where they could make a call anywhere and get something done. They can make anything look like they want it to look like, even if it ain't so. If they can get one or two people to agree with their falsehood, then hey, it's real. It's all about perception. That's why you got to know who you are. You have to know. That's why it's so important to claim your proper status. It's very important, family, to claim your proper status. Because if you don't know who you are, somebody gonna walk off with your identity and make you a slave for them. They gonna, it's like the old saying goes, if you you don't know, if you don't stand for something, you're gonna fall for anything. And that's the same thing with your status. And that's more important. That's dealing with your life, your livelihood, and your children's livelihood, and your estate, your land. You know, you are supposed to settle upon land, a piece of land, and that be your family's land forever. It ain't supposed to be like this the way it is, moving us around from pillar to post. Some bank can come in here and put you out of your house and don't even follow due process of the law at that, on some land they don't even own, that they stole from your people or your, somebody, ancestors who look like you, who look like us. I cannot stress enough that we really need to know who we are. We really need to find it important enough to know who we are and know where we came from and know the roots of where we came from. No oil got me shining. We need to really know that everything begins with you. Everything begins with status. But if you don't know your status and you let these people tell you who you are and give you a fictional character to attach to, then that's who you're gonna be. And that's a fictional character that you didn't create. And you don't know the full terms and conditions of that fictional character. For one thing, it makes you 3/5 of a man, which is not a full legal construct. You dealing with something that we are dealing with, a lot that we know nothing of the creation, and we did not create it. So that being said, if you don't know the full terms and conditions in which you're operating in, how can you come out on the winning end? How can you come out on top? You can't. It's not possible because you didn't create the game. They just threw you in and told you got to do this, and this to play their game. And we've been running around chasing everything, trying to play their game. Do this, do that, get this ID, get this birth certificate, do all these different things in a system they created to benefit themselves. While we don't have no benefits in none of it. And they benefiting off everything. And it's our land. That's the main thing I want, quote unquote, Black folks to really know, to really understand. You did not come from Africa. I mean, if you did, it was 150,000 years ago. So my markers came from Kemet, the first family, 150,000, 150 million. Was it a million? I think it's million. Ancestors, million, 150 million years we've been in America. Yeah, we've been in America 150 million years. So at this point, it's not even relevant whether we came from a certain family line, came from Africa or not. We came from the land of Mu first. This is the whole thing. How you gonna let somebody that just got here a few 100 years ago dictate to you what it is? See, ain't that crazy? You let a cave dweller. Come out the cave and start ruling over you. Forgot who you were. This is the fall of humanity. Humanity. Hue, one word, manatee. Humanity. Not mankind. Those with hue is humanity. Those with no hue is mankind, meaning sort of like, kind of like a man. 3/5. So when you say those were the first slaves, the Slavics, 3/5 of a man who was created on this planet. Those of us with hue was not created from this planet. We came from the heavens. We came from other planets and descended here. That's why we are the gods. That's why the Anunnaki is considered the gods. That's who they talking about. That's who they don't want you to know who they talking about in the bibliothèque, Biblios, Bibles, Quran. They want to make it this ghost spell, spook tale nonsense because they don't want to tell you the truth. Who God really is. Because if that comes out, that blows up the whole spot for them. They can no longer keep up the lie about who you are and about who we are as a indigenous inhabitants of the world. So if they tell one truth, then that means they got to tell 10 lies to try to cover it up. So they not gonna tell no truths. They're not gonna say anything that's going to expose themselves. But it's so much knowledge and information and literature that was left behind by the ruling powers and by the first tribes that it's no way around it. So all they did was came in and became imposters to begin ruling in a fashion that was not lawful. They stole everything they had. So you're talking about the Scots, you're talking about the so-called Jews, where it says in their own Bible, as they call it, it says this in their own Bible. They say they are Jews, but they are not. So how's that their own Bible? You mean tell me they wrote that? Revelation 3:9. They say they are Jews, but they are not. They lie and say they are Jews. So if they really wrote that, you think they write that about themselves? No. It's a lot of text within the Bible and in the Quran that they do not want you to see, which is why they monitor all churches, bishops, pastors, and these pastors and bishops and preachers have to report to the state what they are teaching. Why do you think that is? Because it's all going back up to the Vatican, to the priesthood, the Jesuit priesthood, which is wicked, corrupt, and full of deceit, lies. They run the entertainment industry, forcing men to be homosexuals, running pedophilia rings. One part of them is man lovers. The other part of them is pedophiliacs. The Jews come up with all these satanic rituals. It's like they took everything that they learned, and they did the worst with it. They tainted it in the worst ways that's even humanly, who would even think of this? See, you can't really get in the mind of wickedness. There's no excuse for it, and you can't really explain it. It just is what it is. Who knows what makes them tick? These are animals, these are beasts, like literally. One is a cannibal that came out the cave. The other one is a slightly higher version who's not a cannibal, but they still came out the cave, which is the so-called Jews. The Scots, the original ones that bred with the rhesus monkey, the 3/5 of God's blood, Anunnaki blood that created them, mixed them with a rhesus monkey. The rhesus monkey has red hair and black eyes. Scottish people, the first ones, black eyes and red hair. That's rhesus monkey. It's not hair, pardon me, fur. If your hair don't stand up on your head to the sky and have 9 ethers, it's not hair. It's fur. It's flat. It's not real. It's just fur. Because it's a non-human being. That's a hybrid. That's a hybrid that was created. So we have to know these things. We have to know from which we came. So then you can have the knowledge and the power to move in confidence on your own land and rule on your own land. This is the important. This is why they changed history. This is why they changed our legacy and hid it from us. Because if you know who you are, if you know you came from God's and you got the same DNA, then what does that make you? You a ruler. This is where we at right now. This is where we at today. This is the message that the ancestors want me to be given. I'm already there doing it. Shutting down courthouses and register of deeds and not being challenged for doing so. But you have to know that. You have to be seated in that. You can't just keep talking about my nationality and and you don't have jurisdiction. It's a little bit more than that. You have to really be seated in the knowing of who you are and in the knowing of how to move and how to command and how to make demands on them. You have to remember that everything the impostor has done has always been done in the opposite. So whatever they put down, in they so-called laws and codes and whatever they're trying to do to you is really something that's been done to them. Once you know that, once you know the ways of this beast, this illusionist, you can see right through the game. You can see right through it. And from there, you have to move out. You have to roll out in your imperial power as a ruler on the land. Find out what territory your ancestors had, even if it was big or small, and take it back. That's the time we in. That's definitely the time we in. One second, family. One second. Okay, yeah. Pardon me. I had to go ahead and start this live. Since I'm giving this message, I might as well go on Instagram. So yeah, I'm live on YouTube and live on Instagram for all those that want to check it out on YouTube. So as I'm saying, we have to know that it's the time for us to start ruling again. I actually know personally that it's 10 years behind on my timeline, personal timeline, and being delayed by these different entities that choose to delay or try to delay what is inevitable and what has to happen in this time. So, as I was saying, all of us who have thought that we was gonna have to fight for something, you know, we gonna have to have a race riot, a race war. We don't have to fight for nothing that's already ours. We don't have to fight for anything. Why fight for something that's already yours? You have to know how to command and demand. They send you a bill, you send them a bill. They send you a complaint, you send them a counterclaim, countermand complaint. Start learning how to move in a rulership capacity. That's what rulers do. Like I said, when you get on a piece of land, a parcel of land, this is the way it was designed initially as a settlement. You and your family are supposed to be there and settle on that land forever. But here we are being moved and, moved from pillar to post, being subject. We are being subjugated to foreign entities that are not supposed to be ruling over us, that are not supposed to be on our land at all. So why is it that they living high on the hog, and those whose land they stole is out living on the street, homeless everywhere you look around? The first part of it is knowing who you are, knowing that you are not from somewhere else. And even if you were from somewhere else, the melanin, the humanity overrides any claim they have. So if you claim to be indigenous, if you claim to be aboriginal, that's enough said. That's in the law. There's so many case laws that indicate that. Title 25, 194 indicates that. They can look at you and tell who you are. The burden of proof is on them. I am who I say I am. If an Aboriginal Indigenous claimant comes forward and says, "This is my land, this is my land," that's already decided. But it's up to us to know that we have this power. So it's nothing to argue about. It's nothing to fight about. You go in there calmly with 1-page affidavit, have your knowledge of self together, learn how to stand on your status, and that's what it is. You have to understand so-called, this is something I want my so-called Black people to know. You are not a corporate construct. The reason why we don't say we are Black is because now we know better. When you know better, you do better. You do not indicate on any state, federal, or local government, quasi-government application or paperwork that you are Black. The minute you do that, you have stripped your own rights away. There is no legal or lawful protection under the status of being Black. Okay? The status of being Black, it yields at law 3/5 of a man. It lets them know that they can do whatever they want to do with you. This is what the ancestors and the universe, the Most High, really wants me to stress right now, because a lot of folks don't understand, so-called Black folks don't understand the importance of not labeling yourself Black. This came about when before we were conquered, before the empire was conquered, the Constitution was written. Although the Constitution has been altered, just like the Bible has been altered, all of these things that were already in place for ruling powers and for those that were running the land, governing the land, these things were already in place. You get the impostor who comes in and steps right into some ready-made stuff. So all they did was injected themselves into it. So I don't care what you say, the Bible is not authentic. You have to look at the real life acts that happen to realize that everything in there is not correct. It's not authentic. And why would it be? A conqueror is not going to sit up there and not put themselves in it. They're not going to leave everything the way it was. So this is my thing with Christians and, deeply religious people who don't think for themselves. You a free thinker? Yes, absolutely I am. Because you know what? I can see through the fog. Call me a free thinker, because see, these priests and these pastors and these Islamic rabbis and sheikhs in Africa and in the Middle East and in these places where they conquered and took over as Islam, they make people feel like these things are bad, just like in Christianity. Just do it and believe it and don't ask no questions. That's what they want you to do. As long as you do that, you fine. As long as you do that, you'll never find out the truth either. That's what, for those of y'all that don't care about finding out the truth, then that's fine for you. I've never been one to be like that. I've never been one to not want to know what really happened. I want to be at the root of all things. Nobody can pull the wool over your eyes when you know better. And when you know better, you do better. You don't let nobody change your name, change your identity, tell you I ain't gonna say what I was about to say, but anyway, tell you it's raining and then they, piss all over you. That's what I want to say, so I'm gonna say it. You don't let nobody do that. You have to get the record straight. If somebody took something from your family line, now you have the tools to get it back. You have the knowledge. There's so much knowledge out there. In my tribe, we have a reclamation. There's a 10-page beast that says it all. 2 pages full of case law regarding indigenous inhabitants. You have to attach yourself back to the land. There is no other way around it. You can claim nationality and all these different things, but if you don't attach yourself back to the land, that's where that's what it all boils down to. The land, the land mass. So now that the land is deemed not to be abandoned, this is what we were under the auspices of when this imposter came in. That's why they came in. They came in under the auspices of the land being abandoned. The empire was abandoned. That's what they said. That's the excuse they gave out to the world. Meanwhile, while they shooting at the heirs of the land and the imperial family and trying to kill them all in South America. We are coming out of an age where we had to deal with a vicious beast that would take over, steal, kill, and destroy just to cover up the lie of who they are, because they never want to go back to the cave. Bottom line, this is why they had to browbeat the so-called Negro, which that's not a proper term either. They had to browbeat another group of people just so nobody's looking at them. So when you see what Hitler done, you have to do the research and find out, why was Hitler even doing that? What would make him want to do that to those people, and why? When you look into it, you'll know why. You will know exactly why. He was just bold enough to take a stand and say, no, you're not going to be an imposter. You're not going to use something that you stole to make your financial gain. You're not going to, steal the identity of the true family who it belongs to, the heirs to the land who it belongs to. They never tell you the real story. The ones who go around saying Hitler is so bad and, the Holocaust this and the Holocaust that, they are the ones who don't want the true story to be told. They want everybody to think that, they were abused and all of this stuff. It's just sick. You gotta know when the truth is the truth. And as long as we were under the rulership of an imposter that conquered us, is no truth in nothing they have done or said. And they are the masters of illusion, masters of deception, artists of illusion. These people have it down packed. They have their game down packed. And all of their disciples up under them do too. All these orders, fraternal orders, Scottish Rites, Freemasons, Shrine of the Black Madonna, all of this stuff is our stuff that these people then took for their own gain and then want to push you out of it. The masses out of it and keep it secret. Initially, it was a secret to be kept amongst the ruling family. They wasn't supposed to have it. They stole what they stole everything from the proper order. They stole it from the ruling family. This is what we coming out of. We coming out of a time of illusion. Now things are going to go back to as they were before this imposter came onto the scene. So like I was saying before, if you know you've been here, I'm going to just say what I know about my own family line that I've researched. These people will try to tell you, you from Africa, you from here, you from there. So what? I'm from, my family line came out of ancient Kemet, but guess what? We've been in America 150 million years. 150 million years. Compared to 600 years of this creation of an imposter that's now got his foot on my table telling me what things are and what things aren't. It don't work like that. It don't work like that. Y'all have to take charge. You have to learn how to articulate yourself. You have to make proper claims so that you can move in the image and the likeness of your ruling power ancestors. This is the day and time that we are in, and this is the message that I've been urged to give. You have to be careful. You have to get up on your spiritual protection. These people will do whatever it takes to keep the lie and the illusion going for as long as possible. And they have gangs of them that don't do anything but sorcery. I'm dealing with it right now. I've been dealing with it in my life. Now they're attacking my son. So just by watching his situation, if you're not seated in who you are, these people will make you think anything. Their job is to create an illusion and to get as many people to believe that thing in which they're trying to create. It don't have to be true. Same thing they do in the media. It don't nothing they say is true. Nothing, probably about 90% of what they say is true. But it don't have to be, as long as they can get you to believe it. The perception is all they care about. They never cared about the truth. So if you're not seated in that in which you know and that in which you are, when you go out to conduct your business, you need to already be ahead of the game and get your status in order so that when something comes to challenge you, you are already there in front of it. Because best believe the challenge is coming. Because you have people, you have non-human beings. Yep, non-human beings. I'm not trying to be nice. I'm not trying to sugarcoat nothing. It is what it is, and I know what it is. You dealing with a hybrid being who is now sitting in a place of power that feels like they're so entitled that they don't have to give you your rights when demanded. So now that we know, a lot of times we now know who we are and we present them with proper paperwork within the register of deeds and within different places and in court and different things like that. And people say, well, they not honoring it. It ain't for them to honor. You put what you said what you said, and that's it. You put it on the record and you leave it there. If somebody else try to say something or rebut it, you put something else there and you make your word the last word. You have to know how to conduct yourself in your affairs and let them know that you are not a minor. Okay. This is how they've been operating. taking control of your life, your estate, and your children based on terms and conditions that you were never aware of. Entered you into contracts that you were never aware of. And if you still claiming black in 2022, they gonna smash you because they on their last leg right now and they trying to get whatever monies, whatever, however they can suck you dry, they gonna do it. They gonna try to bring all type of cases. They gonna try to run you through the ringer because they trying to get what they can get because they getting put up out of here. It's the end of their rope. It's the end of their time. So they gonna definitely come for the weak and weak-minded. And that means those that don't know who you are and you don't know how to stand when challenged. You have to know how to stand when challenged, and you need to get up to speed before you are challenged. Don't wait till something happens. You dealing with an animal. You're dealing with those that don't have any type of moral compass. They're destructive. They're destructive and they follow orders. They're like robots. This is what I'm noticing. They are like robots. They've been casted spells upon them in the last 3-4 generations. All those who are in these Masonic orders under the Jesuits, they all work in governmental offices. They all work in these secret societies, Knights of Templar, Knights of Malta, Knights of Columbus, Daughters of the Nile, Sons of the Nile, Ku Klux Klan, Scottish Rite Freemasons, York Rites. They get an order, and if that order say go and jump off this bridge, meet me at the bridge and go jump in the water. It's like they all be robots and they go do whatever that order is. So these Jesuit priests who stole the knowledge from Tahuti, they used it for wicked, to control and manipulate people's minds, all kind of stuff. All kind of stuff I'm seeing in my own experience and dealing with these people, dealing with these pale faces, non-human beings, hybrids. These are the real 3/5. The real 3/5 is who been ruling over us. Now, how crazy is that? A black-eyed hybrid of a rhesus monkey, which is why they stayed in hiding in under the priesthood, and wearing these. It's crazy. It's so crazy. Y'all wouldn't even believe the craziness that has gone on in the world. And I know it because it comes straight to me. It's been coming straight to me. And I just realized it was just revealed to me that these orders have been following me for the longest time. The Islamic order, these priests. I remember when I first went to Africa, it was a tall, dark-skinned man with a long cloaked hood on and a long cloak on. And I just was like, who is this? The Grim Reaper? That's what he looked like. He looked like a Grim Reaper. Now today, I know it was an Islamic priest of the Jesuit priesthood who's also in Africa as well, coming out of Senegal. This priesthood was in all the places where they took over the empires. They placed a priesthood there. The Mali Empire was conquered by the same ones that conquered the Americanist Empire in America, Aztec Empire, South America, Japan Empire, which is now Japan, because they named it that with a J. And it was really a Y. Italy, Rame, Italy. Wasn't Rome, it was Rame, Italy. They have a priesthood there. So everywhere, that was the Holly Rockman Empire. So everywhere that there was a power base of the first family of Tahuti imperial lineages all over. These are all branches of the Tahuti family tree all around the world where they had empires. These conquerors went there and took those areas over and conquered those empires and put a priesthood there and began to run their businesses from a priesthood and took over everything the empire owned, and they made it their business to try to kill off all the heirs. This is why they've been following me and trying to kill me all these years, which I didn't even know I was an heir to any of it. But because of the markers that are in your blood, they know who you are. That's why y'all need to be careful about who you giving your blood to, who's your physician. Don't go to these pale faces. They all in this secret order, and they're going to test your blood. And they probably, if you got that rich blood, that first blood, they probably gonna be taking all these valves of blood that they don't need just so they can drink it. Because this is what they do. This is what real life vampires do to make themselves powerful. Take the organs, drink the blood of the original people. They actually do this. And you can't even be a priest or a bishop without drinking the blood from a goblet. It's certain rites of passage that they make them do to get anything from them, just like in the music industry. They turn all of these guys into homosexuals. You can't go high up unless you become a homosexual and or give one of your children up. Okay? This how serious it is. These people is wicked. It's just no excuse for it. But this is who's been running everything. But they got their knowledge and their power from those who were ruling on the land, lawfully ruling on the land. This is very important because it doesn't matter whether you are from Africa, from somewhere else, wherever you are. This is in our law. Wherever you are, if you are a part of the first family, the imperial family, anywhere you set your foot upon can be yours. That's why they want you to believe that partition off, separate you from this side of the family. You can't go over there. Nope. You in the Gambia. We're not letting you go to America. Nope. You over here in what's these other places that they Amsterdam. Nope, you can't go to this side of the world. You can't go because we all the same people. It's just we spread out. There's no separation in the melanin. Yeah, you have different tribes and stuff like that, but you really need to know who you are. That's where your power is. Once you know who you are and you begin to walk in it, nobody can tell you who you are not. And if they try to tell you who you are, the burden of proof is on them. That's why I never gave my DNA in my blood and did all this 21-3andMe, whatever. I'm not doing none of that. I know who I am already. And they know who I am already. The first thing they're going to want to do is place you somewhere else, especially the kind of claims that I got on the record. at Library of Congress and Register of Deeds and all these different places, the first thing they would do is rig that test and say that I'm from somewhere else. I don't need them to verify nothing. I made my claim now. You prove me wrong. I am who I said I am. Now, go look at your own code, Title 25, 194, along with this reclamation that got all of these case laws in it that say I don't have to prove nothing to nobody. If you don't believe what I'm saying, then you prove me not. And they can't do that because they just got here. I'm who I am. Y'all got to know that. You got to know it's time for you to take control of your life. Stop calling yourselves Black and quit getting emotional about it. If you want to be considered 3/5 of a man, then just keep calling yourselves Black and see where that gets you in 2022 moving forward. Learn what it means to be Black. Learn what it means to be 3/5 of a man. That's why you getting smashed. That's why our brothers and sisters getting killed out here. And nobody is being accountable for it. You know, they're being killed, you know, without no retribution at all. And then we want to riot, we want to get frustrated, but you don't really understand what's going on. You don't understand what's going on. It's not something we got to fight for. You simply make the claim, and that's that. Nobody can tell you who you are not. It all boils down to lawfulness and legal constructs. So 3/5 of a man, the way we can identify who the 3/5 of a man is, no matter what your shade is, what your melanin is, what your, skin shade is, 3/5 are the RH negatives or RH positive. The RH blood types is just like the RH in the rhesus monkey or the RH in the chimpanzee. Both of those were created by the Anunnaki 600 years ago. That's animal DNA. That's why in certain parts of history, and they say it's a myth and different things like that, where you see half horse and half man, that's the ones who was having sex with animals and creating those hybrid beings. That's the only way they can create them, because they have animal DNA also, RH, to be able to do that. And it's a well-known truth that they have sex with animals, bestiality. They was in the mountains doing all of that for 470 some odd years. So that's how those hybrid beings was created. Those are not real people. Those are not human beings. HUEMAN. Those are not human beings. Those are mankind who was made in the image and the likeness. So if these beings was made in the image and the likeness of you, how do you think they're supposed to be ruling over you? And then they want to call you Black because that blots you out of the hierarchy of things. You don't have no power. You don't have no authority. Your authority is in your status, and you won't have that claiming Black. That's even in the Constitution, in the Dred Scott case. You have to know who you are. You have to know your status, claim your status, and attach yourself back to the land and begin to let this imposter know what is going to be, and how it's going to be on your own land. It ain't nothing else. You have to be fearless in this. You can't be timid. You can't be scared. You put what you're going to put into the record, and you make your demands, and you don't go back. You put an affidavit into the record or a certified copy into the record. That has to be considered law. After that, and you revoke all contracts because you was entered into them contracts unknowingly and unwillingly. They entered you into contracts that you had no knowledge of the terms and conditions of those contracts. So revoke them, cancel them. Then you tell them, now you move forward in your proper status and your proper capacity, and you tell them what it is and what you want them to do and how it's going to be done in your estate, with your life and with your children. This is how you take their power away. Get the knowledge of self, get the knowledge of how to operate and conduct your affairs. Quit letting these people tell you you need this and you need that to do stuff. They holding us hostage because they done came here and took everything. Now they got all the jobs. They have all of, everything we need. So now we subject to them. Well, you got at some point you got to take a stand and say, no, I don't have to be forced to assimilate into anything, and any right, privilege, or benefit on this land, I can have it too, under my own terms. This is how I live my life. I'm stubborn, I'm uncompromising, and it's going to be what I know it's supposed to be, not what somebody else that I know came here and stole everything they got. Now they want to come here, put their feet up on my great grandparents' coffee table and take their land and put their children out on the street whenever they get ready. It ain't going out. I ain't going out like that. At some point, you have to take a stand. You have to be willing to take a stand to change things. If not for yourself, for your heirs and your children that's coming behind you. This is how you make change. You don't make change by going and rioting. You don't have to fight for something that's already yours. You can send them a one-page affidavit and stand on that. They gonna try you, yeah. They gonna try you a few times because that's what they supposed to do, to make sure you ready to have what it is you telling them is yours. You can't be ruling over stuff that you ain't ready for. So of course there's a test, there's a challenge. You have to be seated in it to receive it. You got to be seated in your knowledge to be able to tell them, no, this is what it's gonna be, and I'm not budging from it, and I'm gonna get the benefit of whatever you got going on my land. You don't cut yourself off from benefits and different things like that. It's all whatever they doing on this land, and it's a benefit or a privilege that you want, you can have it, but under your own terms. Give them an affidavit, certified copy from the county register of deeds, and that's that. Stop letting these people throw you around like a rag doll every time they get ready, and try to do something with your children every time they get ready. So that's the word for the day, Black people. You're not going to see your full potential, your full inheritance, claiming to be Black. Black has no legal or lawful, it's a non-legal construct. So this is another contract and another label that you don't know the full terms and conditions of. But you just calling yourself Black because that's what they put on the application for you to choose from. So that being said, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. Till the next time, if you need any readings done, contact me. If you need any clarity on your legal situation, you can contact me. You know where to find me. Peace and love. Y'all be good.
Peace and love, Empressninti.
Peace and love.
Peace and love.
All right.